I think it's very hard to predict month by month, quarter by quarter, what's going to happen. But it's certainly the case that we've seen growth surprises, and Europe is one of the places where we've seen a surprise. But the big question, of course, and this is not just about Europe, but about the U.S., is where's the inflation? We've had, as Ken said, we've had a long recovery. I think we're in the late stages of this cyclical recovery. There's still a lot of accommodation coming from monetary policy. In the U.S. now, there's some fiscal support. I think the transmission of the monetary policy may well be improving. We're seeing more credit flowing, and we're seeing more asset price increase, which should also help. But the question is, the missing inflation. It is still very hard to imagine a sudden spurt of inflation when wage developments are as moderated as they are. Wages, of course, are roughly 70%, three-quarters of value added. And so generally speaking, I think it's very hard to see the inflation coming first. That's
changing now, isn't it? If you look at the historical levels, you've got corporate profits versus GDP at historical highs. The share that's going back to the labour force is quite low, when in the past we've seen sort of measures that counteract that, whether it was industrial strikes that you had. This time round, we've got this protest vote. Right around Davos, we're hearing about this movement, social impact the stakeholders in the business, and that's employees. So surely that wage pressure is coming from some of this dialogue.
I think you're right. Things have changed, but labor's power, the role of unions and collective bargaining seems to have been diminishing. Now we're at a point where labor, I think, realizes that as the economy recovers, companies do have more on hand, and so there will be perhaps some new, let's call it, labor relations. But still, it's a ways to go from stagnant wages to such rapid increases in wages that it affects corporate pricing decisions. And for now, corporations' situations are quite flush. They're not going to want to lose business by raising prices until they really have to. Now, I think it will come. The unemployment rate in the United States is lower than many of us ever expected it to go. That's, I think, true in Japan as well. Europe's a bit different because there's a way further to go. But this could be wrong, but apart from countries where pass-through of exchange rate depreciation is causing inflation to jump, and the UK is the most, the example where they've been dealing with that issue. Generally speaking, I think until you see more change in the labor markets, we probably won't see a jump in inflation.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.